the ideal world, we would be the kind of parents who raise our children to grow up to be adults that don't need to recover from anything, recover from us, recover from the life and the childhood that we've given them. So this one's for the parents. What is it that you think is the most important thing that you can give your child to help them to grow up to be a well-rounded, secure individual who is able to live a good life? My name is Elif, and I am a spiritual life coach and a born gifted psychic medium. My channel Source, and I have been helping people to heal and to grow and to give space to their own evolution for many years now. So as a individual who grew up through a very, very contrasting childhood and had to heal and recover from many things and still am, children are at my heart. They're at the core of what I do. I feel like we can only make the world better one woman at a time, one mother at a time, one son at a time, one daughter at a time. And so that's what I'm passionate about. And this is what brings me to what I want to share with you guys. As a parent, if you are a parent, or even an aunt, a guardian parent, a foster parent, somebody that stands in for a child that you know really needs you, your countenance. What is the worst thing that you think can happen to them? These young individuals who you love and are devoted to. A number of things might come up for us, and it might not actually be a question that we've asked ourselves, but if you are anything like me, it is a question you've thought about many times. My biggest fear has always been the problem, the disease in our communities, in our worlds, that at the core of these dysfunctional behaviors is addiction. These habits, these symptoms of incredible pain and dis-ease with self that cannot help but spill into the relationships and communities and the people around us. So my biggest fear, I think that most things we can recover from. My biggest fear for my children is that they would be unable to and not have the tools and the capacity, and most importantly, the willingness to take care of themselves and give themselves every opportunity to have the best life that they can. And the only thing that I can think would stand in the way of that is if they had a debilitating addiction, something that they were unable to control, a behavior, a habit that was harmful to them, to their loved ones, and they were not able to control it, because that's what an addiction is. Well, what do you think? What's your answer? If yours is anything like mine, and addictions don't have to be substance. We have behavioral addictions. Most of us do. Some of us are workaholics and we think that's a great addiction to have. If I can have that one, I'd love that one. Only the families that come from those experience, those parents who are addicted to things like that, to finding a sense of worth and a sense of comfort outside of their family, will tell you what damage that causes. Eating addictions, sex addicts, there are behavioral addictions, and sometimes I think those are the ones that they hide, they get lost, because we can't see them as a problem. You know, they're supposed to be a part of our healthy, natural way of life, and so it's easy to sweep those ones under the rug. When I am addicted to taking care of other people, and that comes at the risk of my self-help, my own health, my personal well-being, and the time and the energy that is supposed to go into connecting with my children, then it's not good. My main responsibility is to my children and then to my partner. If I cannot provide them with everything, with the best of me, with the best that I have, then there's no point in spilling it out into the world. And that's my philosophy. We fix things at home. One mother at a time, one father at a time, one house at a time. And that'll change the world. So young children can be introduced to numerous substance and behavioral addictions, habits. Because what's the first thing we do? And we're all guilty of this. What is it that we do when we have little kids that are demanding our attention? And we are stressed, we are anxious, we are depressed, we are struggling in some sort of relationship issue that we're trying to figure out. We plonk them in front of the television. We find a distraction. Most people are programmed towards distraction. And I'm not saying that you are supposed to give your child 24 hours of your attention, because attention without attunement is void. I can sit there and I can give you attention and I can be around you. I can be involved with you or try to pretend that I am somewhere around you in your vicinity as my child. But if I am emotionally checked out, psychologically checked out, or numb because I am numbing my pain with medication, substance, alcohol, or distracted by a toxic relationship situation that I'm trying to work through, and I feel like if I can just resolve this, I can have peace and I can give my child attention, and then it becomes weeks and months. It's not just about being around your child. You can be, and we've experienced this, you can be in a relationship with someone that lives in the same house with you and they're not present. It's about being present. That provides attunement. You don't know how depressed you've been until you feel what it's like not to be depressed. So many times you have young children who don't even realize how they're suffering emotionally until they have that experience in that relationship, perhaps that sexual experience, or that attention from that person, or that first drink, or that puff, or whatever it is that they're experimenting with. And then suddenly an ease and a comfort and a sense of well-being comes over them that they've never had in relationship with you. Because as parents, we think that if my child has everything they need, if I just work hard to make sure my child has everything they need, then that's going to contribute to a child that is going to be able to be happy and make good choices for themselves. Some of us believe that if I do this, whatever it is you may believe, there's a lot of things that we think would contribute to happy children. As someone that grew up in many different homes and had four mothers, I tell you what, my foster mom, she wasn't rich. She was a poor woman in Mitchell's Plain, single mom, but she was hardworking. And she was very determined to provide her children with a peaceful home. She didn't have any addiction, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke, she lived a religious life, and she believed that that would keep her on the straight and narrow to making good choices for her children. Strange men never came into the home. She was very, very determined to provide a good environment. And she was not my mother, and I came with my own psychological issues. She didn't change who she was. She didn't buy me things and spoil me. But she provided me with attunement, which means she was healthy. She was able to self-regulate. When things went wrong, she didn't feel like she needs to drink, or she needs to go out partying, or she needs to act out in any particular way in order to cope. She had coping skills. She understood that her health was paramount to the well-being of her children. So I could always count on her being who she is, whether there was a storm, whether things worked out, whether there was contrast. She was always solid because that's what she focused on. That's the most important thing we can give our children.